Hi there, this is Lena at the Pit Barbell Club and Fitness Center. Today I am interviewing Mike Rupprecht, who is a long-time valued member of our gym. For instance, let me show you some photographs of Mike from back in the day. There he is, from 1976 at the Teenage Nationals powerlifting event where they took first place. And there's our honored coach, Dick Connor. Here's another photo of Mike from 1978 with the Purdue Invitational Team Championship title. So Mike, why don't you tell us how old you were and about the date that you started going to the pit?
Well, I came down to the pit with two guys, Doug Bell, who was Kodak Coach's All-American center at Ball State, on Ball State football team, and a good friend of mine, Rusty Miller. I came down to start rehabilitating my left leg because I'd had left knee surgery. And I had not ever met Dick. I had heard of the Pit Barbell Club, but not much. And I always say I remember the first time I came in because it was one of the craziest experiences I've ever had. Keith Parrish, who's a long-term member but is not now, he lives over in Illinois. He was doing a heavy leg press and Dick was over the top of him screaming at him, trying to get him to get the lift, and Keith was screaming at the top of his lungs, and I thought, what in the world kind of craziness have I gotten into? But that was in April of '71. I was 14 years old. And I trained for several years, just getting ready for football, and I wrestled. I went to Modern Day High School, played football for 3 years there. I was at Rex Monday for my freshman year, played football there. I wrestled at Modern Day my sophomore and senior year. My junior year, I ended up having surgery on my ankles, had injuries. And then after high school, I went to the University of Evansville and played football, and I stayed at the pit. I equate the pit and give the pit all the credit for being able to do the things that I could do, because I was never a wrestler. I'd never wrestled before in my life, but I had the strength to be able to do the few things that I learned to do pretty well. And you know, Modern Day, with its history of wrestling, is you didn't wrestle, you didn't start if you didn't at least win. So I did fairly well there. And then I continued on. Then I got into bodybuilding, or into powerlifting. We had the pit powerlifting team, which was famous all over the country. Several national championships, multiple national championships. I started lifting. I think I lifted in the 220-pound weight class. Went all over the place. I mean, we were all over this region, and you know, we were in Chicago, we were in Indianapolis, we lifted at IU, Purdue, you name it, we lifted in meets all over Kentucky. But and we're very successful. I mean, we won just about everything we ever went to, and I think my best squat and deadlift were around upper 500s to 600, and my best bench press was probably around 350. But yeah, you know, and I powerlifted for quite a while, and then I got to the point where I had knee problems, long-term knee problems, long-term ankle problems. So I decided that I would, if I wanted to continue to compete, and I think Dick talked me into this, was bodybuilding. And I've always said, I used to be quite a bit of a public speaker, and people would ask me, how can you do that? And I said, well, anybody can stand on a stage in a pair of bikinis and flex muscles, can do just about anything. So I got into bodybuilding, and the fortunate thing for me is that I never did steroids. I've been around them a lot. I've competed against guys that I know were heavily using them. I was beaten by several. I was beaten in the Nationals by a guy that I know was on drugs. I was beaten I would always say that I was fourth in Mr. Indiana, but I was first drug tested, or drug free, because I know the top 3 guys were heavy steroid users, which was fine with me because I didn't care about using drugs just for vanity's sake and a small trophy. But anyway, got into bodybuilding. I was in bodybuilding for several years. Was in quite a few competitions. Met some really interesting guys. Mike Menser, his brother Ray Menser. Mike was a former Mr. Universe. You know, Dick and me and 2 other guys went cross country in '81. I would say it was 8,000 miles in 18 days. And we went to all of the top gyms around the country. We had World Gym, Gold's Gym, gosh, all of them all over the place. And met some really interesting people, saw some really interesting things. But this is my home, the Pit Barbell Club. It has been for 50 years. I did take off a couple years, but I still consider I was always pit man for those 50 years, and I continue to be. I've had some surgeries here lately that I've still been able to work out, mainly my upper body, but I'm not, I'm always a pit man. I'll continue to be here as long as the place is up, and it's a great gym. It's a family, like I said earlier. You really feel comfortable when you're here. The people are family. You get to know people that you work out with and that you train with. Although I'm not on any teams anymore, which was a great thing for me. I truly enjoyed the traveling with the guys and that kind of stuff. But I'll always be a pit man.
That's awesome. All right. Well, we're going to wrap it up. Thank you very much, Mike. We appreciate you talking with us today and are very proud of your long heritage here at the pit.
Thank you.